Welcome back, everyone. My name is Patrick. You're watching the Oilers Rundown. Well, the Edmonton Oilers waited as long as they possibly could before putting out their official statement, one way or the other. Are they matching on Dylan Holloway? Are they matching on Philip Broberg? Pretty much the news was breaking last night. Every insider was putting out their speculation, and they were all pointing in one direction. And this morning, the Edmonton Oilers make it official. They did not match on either player. They will receive a second-round pick and a third-round pick back from the St. Louis Blues as compensation. But there was another wrinkle put into it this morning as well. The St. Louis Blues also trading prospect Paul Fisher along with a third-round draft pick in 2028 to Edmonton in exchange for future considerations. Jason Greger notes here, Fisher was a fifth-round pick in 2023. He's a left-shot D-man, 19, playing at Notre Dame in the Big Ten. So the Oilers gain another prospect and pick from the Blues not to match. So the deal gets a little bit bigger for the Edmonton Oilers. They get another prospect here, but this is still going to be pretty hard to swallow here for fans. I know some people were happy just to let both guys go, but I know a lot of people have reached out to me. They wanted one guy, either Dylan Holloway or Philip Broberg, matched. I thought back at the start of this that the Oilers were going to find a way to match both guys, so I was clearly wrong. I know it puts the Oilers in a really bad situation trying to match both guys, spending a lot more money than they were intending to spend. They thought they were going to have both guys locked in for, let's say, under $3 million, and now they're going to be closer to $7 million if they wanted to keep both guys. It was going to be a very difficult situation here for the Oilers to manage if they matched on both. With moves they made, bringing in Vasily Podkolzin and moving out Cody Ceci and bringing in Ty Emberson, it looked like the Oilers were going to be in a position to match, but as we found out this morning, that is not the case. So the Edmonton Oilers have some moves to make here going forward. Whether they make those moves right away is probably unlikely at this point. I did some scouring of NHL rosters last night looking at potential players the Oilers could go after. Nobody really jumped out to me at this point, and I don't think many other teams are going to be jumping out to give the Oilers a second pairing right shot defenseman right now. So this is probably going to be something that has to wait until closer to the NHL trade deadline, but who knows? Jeff Jackson, Stan Bowman may have some surprises in store for us. Right now, it looks like Ty Emberson, Troy Stecher, Josh Brown will be playing under Evan Bouchard there on the right side. We'll see what they ultimately go with. Right now, I'm putting this roster together. Jeff Skinner, Connor McDavid, Zach Hyman on the first line, Nuge, Draisaitl, Arvidsson on the second line, Janmark, Henrique, and Brown on the third line. Newcomer Vasily Podkolzin, Derek Ryan, Corey Perry making up your fourth line there. Evander Kane will either be on long-term injured reserve or injured reserve to start the year. More on that in a moment. On defense, Ekholm Bouchard, and like I said, Nurse possibly paired with Ty Emberson, Brett Kulak with Troy Stecher, Josh Brown as your number 7 guy, and of course, Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard in goal. Puckpedia reported here that the Oilers, with not matching on Broberg and Holloway, start the year with $946,000 in projected cap space, and that's with 21 healthy players and Kane on injured reserve. So in that situation, which I just showed you with the roster, the Oilers can still accrue cap space going towards the trade deadline, so that would be the ideal situation. If they do want to make other moves and they need some more cap space, they can put Evander Kane on long-term injured reserve and exceed the cap by $5.066 million, but they will not accrue cap space in that situation and may have to make a trade when they bring Evander Kane off long-term injured reserve if they go that route. So it's most likely right now that they start the season, like I said, with Ty Emberson, Josh Brown, Troy Stecher on that right side underneath Evan Bouchard. In what order they put those guys, we'll see. I have a feeling Ty Emberson is going to get the opportunity there with Darnell Nurse, at least to start. Troy Stecher is the more veteran defenseman, so maybe they start him there. But whatever they do, it's going to be some combination of those three guys, unless, of course, they make a trade or sign somebody else before training camp. So we all know right now that right side simply is not good enough to win a Stanley Cup, but the Oilers, I'm very confident, will bring in a top 4 right shot D at least by the trade deadline to address that. So the Oilers are probably just going to do defense by committee for the time being. We may learn more from Oilers GM Stan Bowman later. He has a press conference set for 11 a.m. Mountain this morning, so let's see what he has to say there. But for now, guys, like I said earlier, lesson learned. Get your restricted free agents locked in. The Oilers lose 2 former first-round picks this morning as Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway head to the St. Louis Blues. The Oilers did bring in some guys to at least temporarily replace them in Vasily Podkolzin and Ty Emberson, but we know those are not long-term solutions for the Edmonton Oilers. Podkolzin may have some untapped potential here. I have him in my roster here starting on the 4th line, but who knows, in future years he may be able to work his way up, and who knows really what the Oilers have in Ty Emberson. He's worked with Chris Knobloch before, so our head coach knows him well. Maybe he has something else to unlock there. We shall see what happens. So if there's anything newsworthy from the 11 a.m. press conference with Stan Bowman, I will let you guys know. And of course, if the Oilers do make any other moves today, I will do an update video. But for now, Dylan Holloway, Philip Broberg are now members of the St. Louis Blues. Let me know your thoughts on everything in the comment section below. If this is your first visit to the channel and you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing for all the latest Oilers content. You've been watching the Oilers Fanatic. Thanks for being a fan.